Hey, what's going on? What's going on? CoinOpTV subscribers, Robert Welkner here with another CoinOpTV live and interactive on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoinOpTV. It's Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific Coast time. That's usually when we live stream, so thanks a bunch for tuning in on the live show. If you're here and you have questions, concerns, let us know in chat. If you guys are watching this on the archive, let us know in the comments below and we'll try and answer those. So today we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, the sequel to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, with a special guest. Jon Venture is in the house, CoinOpTV writer, editor extraordinaire, video producer, and all-around good guy. Good to see you, Jon. Thanks for joining us.
That was a magical intro, Rob. How you been?
Yes, we've known each other for a while. We've never met, but Jon has been contributing articles, video for CoinOpTV for years, 3-4 years or something like that.
It's going on 4 years. Yeah, greetings, gamers. How you guys doing? If you've got Lego reviews, anything up, chances are I've had my hands on it in CoinOp. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Lego stuff. I recently put up some gameplay of some wrestling, some WWE 2K, and now he's been working on some Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Here's the pitch for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Is a fighting, role-playing video game developed by Dimps and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment based on the Dragon Ball franchise. We actually have some gameplay, and Jon's going to sort of walk us through some of his bullet points and stuff like that. It's kind of a work in progress. We'll have the full review up on the side. Before I get started, Jon, are you going to be dressing up? Have you been trick-or-treating at all for Halloween? Halloween season is upon us. Have you been embracing it at all?
I'm actually all about Halloween. I absolutely love the holiday. A friend of mine sets up his entire front yard. He has this own little page, Erie Acre Cemetery. So, like, some people have a giant Christmas tree in front of their house and inflatable snowmen or whatnot. My buddy creates a graveyard. So it's kind of set up like the Disney's Haunted Mansion type of deal with photo ops and all that. So I'm actually going to be a grave digger for Halloween. So I'm going to be there leading the kids through the yard, handing them candy. There's fog machines and little animatronics and everything. I've been working on it with them since May of this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Halloween.
Oh wow! I didn't know you're going all out. You'll have to send me some pictures, or I'll look on Facebook and see what kind of cool pictures you take of that.
I'll tag you on there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I see a few people jumping in chat, Jesse and Toy Movie Game Bros and a few others. So let's get started talking about some Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Let's see. So Jon, first things first. What'd you think of sort of the graphics and the sound? I feel like I've been watching some of your gameplay, and it's got kind of this muted sort of palette on the visuals. Can you talk about sort of the graphics and the sound? We'll play some gameplay.
Sure. So graphics-wise, fans of the Dragon Ball series they'll love the looks of this game. The art direction is by Akira Toriyama. He's the guy who's been in charge of Dragon Ball forever. It's his vision. So characters like Goku and Krillin, Piccolo, whatnot, they'll look, as they should. So you'll have both in-game, the 3D models that you'll run around the various cities and fight with. They fit the mold. It's not some cheap knockoff. It's not like a movie tie-in game that sometimes aren't faithful. This one works. Additionally, the cutscenes are anime clips, basically using the voice actors, US, and their little subtitles or whatnot at the bottom. Whether you go dubs or subs in anime is up to you, but it's there. All the sounds that you'll expect, you'll hear Kamehameha as it sounds in the game, Big Bang Attack, all the different maneuvers. They'll call them out as they do within the anime series itself. So if you're a fan, you'll recognize all this stuff instantly, and if not, you'll get a feeling for it, for the real over-the-top battles that Dragon Ball's been known for, the series, for going on 30 years, Rob?
Yeah, it's been forever. I've seen if not 25, 35, 30 years, something like that.
I think. Like the original Dragon Ball started with like a little baby Goku.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, I remember I'm a big Mobile Suit Gundam guy, and I remember like when Naruto and DBZ sort of Gundam's kind of came in and kind of took over the anime scene. Took it away from like the giant robots into the super powered Saiyans and stuff like that. So,
I think it's on One Piece, and One Piece is still running now. It's crazy, but yeah, all in the same vein.
We got more people jumping in chat. Gnarly and Paper Dude are jumping in chat, and Ron as well. Thanks. If you guys have questions, concerns about the game, let us know. So let's talk about, we got the Overworld gameplay here. So this is kind of like no loading screens this time around, right?
The loading screens are not as bad as the last Xenoverse. It'll go maybe 5 seconds or so. It's not too intense.
Because I remember I played the first game, and I remember like each time you went to like a little different area, it seemed like there was like a three
that has been fixed considerably. The big loading times, if you know, that's unfair to say big loading times. The loading is if you're jumping into the online battles, which we'll get into later on, and some of the different missions. But within the universe itself, it's crisp. You can get through everything that you need to without really withdrawing you from the action too much. If anything. Usually when I'm going between the loading screens, I'm trying to remember different combos, strategies and stuff, because if you've seen any of the anime, you'll know if you're going to fight against Raditz, Nappa, someone, you'll know, okay, this guy is slow, this guy uses a lot of energy attacks. How did they do it in the cartoon? What should I do here? And that kind of translates, which is, I don't know, it feels kind of like I'm cheating at times. It's like, okay, that's how they beat this guy. Let me try it. And it usually works.
Oh, that's interesting. Using real-world strategy from the cartoon to incorporate into the video game. I don't.
It really works.
I don't know if there's a lot of if that could be said a lot of times for video games. We have the new Skylanders cartoon that just dropped this week on Netflix. I wonder if there's any strategy that I can take from Skylanders Academy and put it into the video game. That would be a clever thing.
Maybe Crash Bandicoot can make a cameo in that. That would be great.
Oh yes. So let's see. So how does the game like faithful to? So you're talking about the show. How is it sort of faithful to the show? Like where does this take place in sort of the Dragon Ball universe?
So the way that this ties into the Dragon Ball universe, the manga and the anime, you create a character based on one of 5 different races from the series itself. You can be an Earthling, so it would be like a Krillin or Yamcha, a Saiyan. Usually spiky hair, not like this deal, and a Namekian, Piccolo, the green guys, the aliens with the stretchy arms, Majin, or the Frieza race, of space aliens that have been destroying everything. So pick one of those guys, and once you create the character, you become part of the Time Patrol. Now, the Time Patrol, their job is to make sure that history stays the way it is. So if you know a good guy beats a bad guy at this certain time in this certain way through the series, your job is to make sure that happens. If that was to change, the future could be changed. It's kind of like Rob, Back to the Future.
Okay.
Marty McFly is going back, and you need to make sure that dance happens the way it's supposed to happen, and the mom meets his dad and whatnot. Same concept in Dragon Ball, but with a lot flashier fightings instead of that single punch at the under the sea dance. So as long as you make sure all of that stuff works, make sure that you keep people's noses out of it. So Turles, which is one of the enemies in Dragon Ball, and Lord Slug, these guys are going through the timeline, messing things up. You need to stop that from happening. And through that, you get to, involve your character in classic matches. In the first time Goku fought Vegeta, first time, you're trying to fight Frieza, which, anime-wise, that was, I think, 30-something episodes. It was ridiculous. Namek was blowing up forever. You get to take part in all these things. And if you happen to be watching Dragon Ball Super, which is the new series that began last year, there's even characters in there and, pieces of the storyline as well. So you get to run through all of that stuff, no matter what you've seen. If you watched it decades ago, it was like 10, 15 years ago on to not, whatever you were watching Dragon Ball at whatever stage, it's in there. The story's there, so it really hooks you in.
All right, that's good to hear. In chat, Ron says this is PC, PS4. I don't know if I neglected to say, but it's released. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 came out this week, October 25th, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows PC. And John is playing on the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
So let's see. So what are some of the elements of the game here? We got RPG, fighting, dialogue scenes. What's kind of the mix of the elements of the game?
Okay, so, touching back on that overworld component that you had mentioned earlier. So, the game it's a mix. It's both an RPG and a fighting game, a full 3D fighting game. So as far as the overworld goes, it takes place in Content City, which is 7 times the size of the map of Xenoverse 1. So there's a lot more to do, a lot more people to see. I know you had, we touched on a video you had earlier this week with Brian when you guys covered World of Final Fantasy, where it kind of doesn't lean on some of those, RPG tropes. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, DBX2, it does for some part. It breaks up all the fighting, because if you were just going to fight for hours and hours on end, sure, if you're into it, Street Fighter, whatnot, that's great. But this particular game has a story mode, it has side missions, it has a couple of fetch quests around the city. That's appealing if you know and appreciate this universe, all these characters that have had, their stories fleshed out for years. You get to see all of these guys in action. Oh, this person's training me, this person's giving me a mission. To learn certain special moves, you can actually go to characters within the game and they'll teach you. So you'll fight against them, and if you can master the maneuver, then they'll give it to you as a reward. So early on in the game, I adopted Piccolo as my mentor, because in the anime, he was super tough with Gohan. He was beating him up all over the place, but as a result, he got much stronger. Accordingly, as I was playing, I got some really strong moves early on in the game, and that made it kind of easier as I was learning, going through that curve, and going to some of the story missions that, pose some of the challenge. There's a crafting mode that I, wasn't anticipating when I, initially saw a new Dragon Ball game coming out. You can combine items, you can combine different costumes that you find, hats and shirts and whatnot, different gi, and you can make better items. So while all of that stuff hasn't been released yet, all the recipes, it's fun to experiment, and you'll get multiple copies of select items, and you'll be able to, make something better. You can have your character look like a Lord Frieza or Master Roshi, or different characters with, big spectacles, whatnot. It's fun. You get to personalize it, everything from the size of your ears to how big the character is. There's a male and female version of all the races, save for, I think, the Frieza race. And there's a lot to do, as far as the character goes there.
Yeah, I remember, I forget which Dragon Ball game I remember kind of spending more time in the character creation stuff than actually playing the game, just because it was so
Xenoverse
deep.
had a hand in that, yeah.
Yeah, the last... I did play some Xenoverse. I remember the first one, and maybe it was that. Toby's in chat. He says, am I late? Yes, you're a little late, but you're still here to catch some of the action. So I know that this game has some online components. Can you talk about what you can do online and kind of reaction? Have it been getting lag or dropouts and stuff like that?
So I run my PlayStation 4. I'm using Wi-Fi. I'm not hardwired, and even then, no lag. That's been the biggest loading time. Like I said, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, if that, between matches. But it's been super crisp. I've fought on one-on-one battles, two-on-two battles so far, and if anything, it's hard to keep up because I'm still learning. And I only have a couple hours to play each night. It's fun. I love the game, but I've not experienced any lag on my part. I thought it may have been an issue because a new feature in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is battles against the giant apes. So within that, if you've seen the series, you'll know that the saying, if they have their monkey tail that hasn't been cut off, they throw up or they look at a full moon and they transform basically into King Kong, but with laser beams and all this craziness. You get to fight those apes in DBX2. And then, spoilers, not just one, 2 at a time, if that, and it gets really challenging. You can do that online and have up to 6 players at one time fighting these giant apes. And you'll be zipping around, flying all through the mountains and trying to get a handle on them. It hasn't been an issue. Online-wise, that part of, the battling hasn't been an issue. The servers themselves can hold up to 300 players. So if you want to play in the parallel quests, which are more like story mode missions, you can jump in there. Haven't had any issues lag-wise. But Dimps is putting a lot of effort into the raid battles, which, Rob, I kind of had mentioned that before we gotten started. It's super intense. It's closer to like an MMO like WoW or something, where you'll have entire servers trying to battle one boss at one time. So for the beta for DBX2, they had a raid boss where everybody in the server fought against Majin Vegeta. It was a powered up version of him. And rather than your character having, some key, your life bars, average, this character had, I think it was over 250,000 health. It was this impossible wall to, try to take over. As your group fights, you slowly whittle it down over and over, and the entire server, hundreds of people, are fighting this one guy at the same time. And depending on how your server does, you get rewards. So those change, and it's really fun. It's like weekend events that you'll get to try, and that's something I'm really, really looking forward to.
All right, yeah, that sounds like fun. It reminds me, I watched somebody did like a GTA 5 community thing online where they all got on a boat and sank it or something. Yep. Is there something like that? Can you sink a boat with the online component or a planet or anything?
Well, I mean, Dragon Ball characters can easily take out a planet. That's all they do. But yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I've actually been having fun this weekend playing the GTA Halloween missions that are out. They do that for usually the holidays, but Dragon Ball, I mean, they've gotten super popular again with the Dragon Ball Super Series that's out in Japan, and I mean, I'm sure it'll be over in next year, I would presume. Toonami will probably bring it over. Also, if you're gonna spend your weekends playing Dragon Ball X2, you should probably keep certain in-game items you win when you go through the missions. There are TP medals, which is just little tokens, whatnot. If you ever had, and Rob, I don't know if you've had any time playing Destiny, have you ever run into Xur on there, little snaky face guy?
I've played a little Destiny when it first came out. I don't remember meeting that character though.
So Xur was someone who was introduced a little later on. He is a specialty item vendor. He's a merchant that's only available for a couple days. So for Dragon Ball X or DBX2, you can go to a specific vendor in Content City, and you can use your medals, the items that you're earning throughout the week, to buy special maneuvers, to buy the Mortal Kombat equivalent of like a fatality, the finishing moves that normally you would have to wait and unlock characters for. So you start off the game and you'll have Goku and Gohan and Krillin and Cybermen, the first level guys. But if you want to unlock Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Lord Beerus or any of these really high-end guys, you need to, get them through the story. And once you do, then you unlock the moves. The TP Metal Shop clerk skips all that. So if you have the little token saved up, you can unlock, I think there was a times 100 Kamehameha, this ultimate finishing move that, I happen to have the tokens for. I picked that one up and put it on my creator character. And my little Saiyan, I have this little red-haired Saiyan girl that's going around. Her specialty is shooting blasts, little key blasts. So, kind of not really intimidated in online battles. Other people don't really think too much of her until the big blast comes out, and then everybody kind of pushes away.
Nice. We got a few more people jumping in the chat. Stefan and Super King Gaming are saying what's up. All right, let's kind of finalize this here. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. What were some of the highlights? Some of the lowlights, biggest surprise, biggest disappointments. Can you summarize things?
Yeah. So some of the high points, as you guys have kind of gotten the impression so far. It's a rich experience. If you enjoy Dragon Ball, any of the incarnations, Dragon Ball Z, even Dragon Ball GT, which not a lot of people really liked because wasn't the original creator, but it's there. All the characters are there. And it's the ultimate fan service, and it's made by people who enjoy the content where it comes from. It's faithful, and it feels like an extension of the anime, of the manga. I like that part. Also, the Grade 8 battles, the 6-on-1 battles against giant guys the size of towers that you're trying to take out. It's something that I never thought would be possible, because usually fighting games, growing up, they've been restricted to 1v1, maybe 2D, fighting up against each other. This is full 3D aerial combat. As long as you, and I'm telling you guys, practice, go through all the basic practice modes, top to bottom, learning how to block, attack, all that. this, it's doable, and that's that's another high, another bonus. It walks you through it. It's not going to leave you high and dry. You'll be able to battle. Now, as far as not so high points, a couple of low points. While I enjoyed the addition of the crafting system, I haven't been able to find any recipes for anything just yet. So it's kind of hit or miss. So I don't really want to use two of my best items, hoping to get another really cool gi or a pair of glasses or something to throw on my guy with stat bonuses, and all those things count. You get extra ki and stamina to fly around. There's no way of knowing what you'll get. So kind of timid about that. Don't really want to do that. Traveling around the city initially is kind of slow. You can walk around. You have a little hoverboard. As you progress through the game, though, and it doesn't take too long, you get to fly through the city, which makes it's a lot faster. Battle-wise, if you find yourself overwhelmed, and it's usually the reaction is kind of fight or flight. If you're backed up into a corner up against a mountain, sometimes the camera comes in at a weird angle, and you kind of see the mountain and stuff's blocking you. You, at that point, as a gamer, should have probably dodged or evaded, and there are different moves to allow you to do that. So if you're backed up into a corner, you can use a key move that'll blast your energy out, and it'll push enemies away and give you a second to kind of orient yourself to go high or low, whatever you need to get the job done. The game is also supposed to receive DLC support. It was going to be, I believe it was up to 1 year was the initial announcement. Now it's been reduced, I believe. I don't think that, it was expected to be as successful as it was. It's only been out for a couple days, but it's all over. I mean, on our YouTube channel and on CoinOp, we've got a video up for gameplay. We've got a ton of content stuff for it. There's people playing all over the place, and I'm thinking, I would try to monetize that. You could easily do like Street Fighter. Well, not with 5. They used to do buck a character type of deal. There are ways of going around it, but more or less, it leans towards a positive. I enjoyed the game.
All right. Are you encouraging the CoinOpTV subscribers to start gambling online? Is that what you're saying here, John?
No. Please, even if you're not of age, don't just. There are much better things to do. Go buy Dragon DBX2 instead of gambling. That's a much better bet.
Okay.
If you're not a fan of the series, it's still a solid experience. 7 out of 10ish. If you grew up watching Goku run Snake Way, or have seen any of the films, Resurrection F, any of these things, it's like playing the cartoon. It's a lot of fun. You'll recognize the characters, the storylines. It's inviting. Even if you're not particularly skilled at fighting games, if you're not going to spend hours, mastering Street Fighter moves, this still has a little leeway. Even though you're fighting against the computer or other people, you'll get a chance to breathe, and it's a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, John, and thanks to all you guys and girls watching in the live chat. So Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 was released, or is out now, October 25th, 2016, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, PC. As you can see in some of the gameplay there, John was getting some A's, so he's been, rocking the battles in the game there. So thanks a bunch, John. Make sure you check him out on Twitter. Maybe he'll post some Halloween scary pictures this week on his Twitter, so you guys can check those out. And thanks a bunch for tuning into our live stream. Again, if you have questions, concerns about the video game, let us know in the comments below on the archive, and we'll try and tap into those as well. And we'll be back again tomorrow live streaming. Hope you guys have a great week and happy Halloween and all that for CoinOpTV. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.